The planet was known as Deathworld, and for a good reason. No living thing could survive its hostile environment. The land was scorched with scorching heat during the day and freezing cold at night. Acid rains would pour from the sky, corroding anything they touched. Giant predators stalked the land, their eyes glowing in the dark as they hunted anything that moved. The air was thick with toxic gases, and the wildlife that roamed the barren landscapes was unlike anything seen in the galaxy. For centuries, the inhabitants of the galaxy had avoided the planet. It was considered a death trap, a place where no species stood a chance. Every expedition sent there had ended in disaster. The most advanced technology couldn't protect against the constant dangers lurking in the shadows. Deathworld claimed everything, leaving only destruction in its wake. Every mission failed, until the humans arrived. When the humans discovered Deathworld, no one believed they would survive. Their reputation had not yet spread far across the stars, and they were seen as an unremarkable species. A species of simple people, with no special abilities or advanced weaponry. But they were different from the others who had failed before them. The humans, led by Commander Jake Marshall, were determined to succeed. They didn't fear the challenges the planet posed. They had come prepared with the best technology, but it was more than that. They had something else, a spirit, a drive to overcome anything, no matter how impossible it seemed. They were not like the other species that had come and gone. They had a belief in survival that ran deep within them. The first few days were brutal. The harsh climate alone nearly broke the team. The heat in the daytime was unbearable, and the freezing nights cut through their clothing like knives. The acid rain pelted down relentlessly, eating away at their equipment and clothing. But Commander Marshall refused to give in. He encouraged his team to push forward, telling them they could endure it. "I've seen worse," he said, his voice steady, even when the storm winds howled around them. "We've survived worse. We just need to keep moving." His words became a mantra for the group. Each step forward was a victory, and despite everything Deathworld threw at them, the humans pressed on. They built shelters that were stronger than anything the planet could destroy. They adapted to the environment, learning how to find clean water beneath the surface, and they used their ingenuity to create safe zones where they could rest. But it wasn't just about surviving the environment. The wildlife was another threat entirely. On Deathworld, the creatures were larger, faster, and more aggressive than anything humans had encountered before. There were massive predators that could tear through steel with ease, and insects the size of a human that could crush bone with a single strike. The humans didn't back down. They fought back with everything they had. With their weapons and tactics, they turned the tide. They studied the creatures and learned their behavior, creating traps and ambushes to protect themselves. They set up defensive perimeters. As soon, the predators learned to fear the humans. One night, while scouting the perimeter of their base, Private Emily Carter and her team found themselves face to face with one of the largest predators on the planet. It was a towering creature covered in thick, armored scales with jaws that could snap a tree in half. The team froze as it approached, but Emily didn't hesitate. She knew what needed to be done. "Get ready," she shouted. The team opened fire, but the creature's armor was too strong. It charged, roaring with rage. Emily signaled for her team to fall back, leading the creature toward a trap they had set earlier. The predator followed, but as it stepped onto the hidden pressure plates, the ground beneath it gave way, and the creature was caught in a massive net. "We did it," one of her teammates exclaimed, breathless. Emily gave a small smile, wiping the sweat from her brow. Just another day on Deathworld. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The humans didn't stop. They faced constant attacks from predators, natural disasters, and the unforgiving climate. But with each obstacle, they became stronger. They learned, adapted, and pushed forward with a determination no one had expected from them. And then something incredible happened. As they began to build more stable shelters and establish a foothold on the planet, the other species of the galaxy started to take notice. News spread of the human success on Deathworld. Other races, long skeptical of the human species, were astonished. How could these small, fragile beings survive in a place where even the toughest warriors had failed? That humans didn't just survive on Deathworld, they thrived. They used their creativity to engineer new technologies, harvesting the planet's natural resources for their own use. They turned the hostile environment into an asset, using the dangerous wildlife to test their weapons and defense systems. They built cities that could withstand the acid rains and extreme temperatures, becoming a shining example of human resilience and innovation. The human success on Deathworld became a symbol across the galaxy. It proved that no challenge was too great if you were willing to face it head-on. It showed that survival wasn't about strength or size. It was about the will to endure, the determination to keep going when everything seemed lost. As Commander Marshall stood on a high cliff overlooking the thriving human colony on Deathworld, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. They had come to a planet that no one thought could be conquered, and they had made it their home. The galaxy would remember the day that humans arrived on Deathworld, not just as a day of survival, but as the day when everything changed. The humans had shown that they could survive on any world, no matter how deadly. And in doing so, they had earned their place among the stars.